I cried to my parents every day because I was in so much pain. It was so hard and I didn't know what I was doing.
What is it like hosting in front of a live audience of thousands or hundreds or however many people are in the stadium and then millions watching from home?
It's the only time I've ever been fired from a job.
You got fired?
And we look at the coffee table and there's a mystery liquid that he has been putting my best cards into.
So bad. Oh my god.
This guy's funny.
That's an insane hit.
What are these sperms doing coming towards him?
What's it like dating a YouTuber?
It's really funny.
Sydnee Goodman is one of the biggest faces in gaming, iconically known for her role at IGN, where she wrote, produced, and hosted the extremely successful show The Daily Fix. Since leaving IGN in 2021, she's continued to dominate as a content creator, co-host of the Game Awards, and host of the Halo the Series after show on Paramount+, the IGN Summer of Gaming event, Let's Go Football show, and many others. And today we're at Rizzo Sports in Santa Monica to rip some packs with her and...
Roll the thing! Roll!
Okay, to get right into it, what is your favorite Pokemon so we can find you something to rip and open?
Oh no.
This is always a tough question. It's been a tough question.
Well, because it's either Squirtle, Blastoise, or Totodile. It just depends on the day.
Squirtle, what is this set that has that crazy Squirtle card? Is that Obsidian Flames? Stellar Crown? You said what?
There's a lot of ugly Squirtle cards.
Okay, well this one's not an ugly one. If we pull it, you're gonna really like it. Okay, let's see if we can find some Stellar Crown to rip first, and then we'll ask some questions. Do you like this Squirtle? Do you see that?
No, that Squirtle looks like a bald baby. It makes me really uncomfortable.
Okay, I promise the other one's better. Yeah, Stellar Crown, if you have packs, that'd be great. Sweet. Here, let's do Stellar Crown 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 packs off the rip.
Does that
151 would be good.
have the fat Pikachu in it? The vivid voltage?
Do you have an affinity towards thick Pikachu?
I do like thick Pikachu.
We also do a vivid voltage ETB.
Thick Pikachu is my Pikachu. That's the Pikachu I grew up with.
Sweet, thank you.
Pikachu.
We are going for Pikachu. Okay, you know how to open packs, right? So you are a huge Pokemon person. Can you explain a little bit about your history with Pokemon? She's like, it's funny, she was like a closeted Pokemon person when we started dating.
True.
We're dating, by the way. Okay, but Pokemon and you.
Pokemon and me, yeah. So Pokemon was honestly my first video game.
Also, that was the most carefully opened booster pack I've ever seen in my entire life. That was fantastic.
Is there a...
There's no, you just flip it and then, like...
I know, I'm just getting rid of that. Okay.
So you'll know if we get what we're looking for. Because
Because it's going to be a Squirtle.
Yeah, well, it'd be a good Squirtle. Let's open the first pack.
Okay. This is a cool Rapidash.
And a hit. Bouffalant. Fun fact.
Bufanti.
You like New York a lot. In Pokemon Go, you can only catch this Pokemon in New York.
Okay.
Would you say New York is like your dream city?
I would say that New York is my dream city.
What about New York makes it your dream city?
I think the energy, that's not an original take, but the energy, the density of it, I like how people dress up. And I like that. So I grew up in Southern California. I've lived in LA, oh my gosh, for like 13 or 14 years now. I'm so old. That's so crazy. Does the math check out? I don't think the math checks out on that. I think I've been here for like 10 or 11 years. And I think the thing with LA is there's a little bit more of typecasting, it feels, where people kind of fall into their...
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Everybody wears athleisure is what I'm trying to say in a more articulate way. Everyone that radish. And there's nothing wrong with it, but I like getting dressed up and I find it really inspiring to walk through the streets of New York and see what people are wearing, and everyone feels very comfortable in their own skin, and I really like that.
Okay, let's hit the next pack.
Okay.
Here you go.
Next pack. Let's do this.
So we're looking for Squirtle.
We're looking for Squirtle. Oh, you asked me about my history with Pokemon, though.
Yeah.
So Pokemon was my first video game ever, which is saying something because I played a lot of video. Okay. The chip thing that happens here is not...
Oh, here. Look. Can I... Oh, she's got it. Professional.
Yeah, so Pokemon was my first game ever, both on handheld and console. So my first console was an N64. I got it for Christmas of 1999, I guess.
Okay.
Because I was kindergarten.
Cool.
My parents got it for me, namely my dad. My dad's a big gamer. And they got me Pokemon Snap with it. And that was my favorite game. And then I had the handhelds. I actually don't remember which came first, but I had the handhelds, played Pokemon Red and Blue. And it was always nice because my brother would play the opposing RPG. So like I had I had silver and he had gold, and then we'd switch.
Cool.
And could trade all of the exclusives on that pack. So yeah, I don't know. I grew up with Pokemon, and then we'd do the trading cards. Anytime we were good, we'd get a little pack. These are called booster packs, right?
Yeah.
We get a booster pack from 7-Eleven. So
Did you get a lot of booster packs?
yeah, because I was a really good kid.
Oh.
Oh, sorry. Surprise.
No.
Okay. Okay, so I'm a water Pokemon girl.
Yeah.
I'm happy with him.
We'll take a Lapras.
We'll take a Lapras. I like Lapras. Yeah, I love water Pokemon, but I don't like Misty, which is interesting. And I remember watching the anime and being kind of upset that I was like, Misty's kind of but I loved water Pokemon, and I was like, ah.
Okay, let's rip the rest of these 3 packs and see what else we get from here. And then we have some other things to rip, including fake Pikachu. And we have a hilarious story about your childhood collection of Pokemon cards, which I might or might not have ruined.
So
We'll tell that after we open the packs. So let's see what we get from these. Stellar Crown, looking for the Squirtle, because it is your favorite Pokemon currently.
honestly, it's Blastoise or Totodile.
And fun fact, you got back into Pokemon Go.
I did, and my Pokemon best friend is a Blastoise with sunglasses on.
And we'll tell the story about it as well.
Blastoise.
First, let's hit the facts.
I don't. This guy,
Like-
he seems like he's cursing me,
Morgrim?
putting a curse on me.
Yeah.
Cubone, rip,
Cornitis.
doubles, cute. Lip.
The Bonk.
Okay,
Okay.
is that his knee?
I think that's his knee.
Okay, am I getting good pulls?
Yeah, you have 2 hits out of 3 packs. That's great. But the goal is the squirt goal.
Yeah, I just feel like water Pokemon have been done dirty by Pokemon. I don't know. They don't get the love that they deserve.
What typing do you think does get the love?
For some reason, fire, which I just don't.
Charizard.
But like, okay.
There you go, fire. Okay. Do you not like Charizard? What are your thoughts on Charizard?
I don't mind Charizard. I just don't understand why. I mean, I'm glad that I'm not a big Bulbasaur fan.
Oh, because Bulbasaur and Venus.
Bulbasaur and Venusaur, they don't even exist.
Okay, Hololedian. Cool. All right, we got your last pack.
I'm now learning how to actually say Pokemon names. Because when you're a kid and you're just reading everything, you just kind of make up the pronunciation of basically everything. And that's exactly what I did.
Do you remember what what the hardest Pokemon to pronounce was for you as a kid?
Oh, I would just not pronounce it.
Okay.
I'd just be like, oh wait, this one starts with like a G and ends with a K. I still do that.
Let me see if I can find a fun one. All right, next one's up for you.
Fletching's cute. Okay. Meryl. There's a lot of Gossifleur.
Yeah.
Electabuzz, my guy. There's a lot of Electabuzz on the second level of on Tunnel in the original Pokemon Snap. Deep connection.
Heck yeah, deep cuts. All right, last pack magic. Ladies and gentlemen, Sydnee Goodman going in. Right, pure your hollow.
I thought that's why I stopped.
No. These were your hits.
Okay.
Lapras and Medicham.
I like the Lapras.
Well, they're obviously yours to keep, so very nice.
Wow. It wasn't obvious. So thank you.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so you were one of the biggest hosts in gaming at IGN, which is a dream job for a lot of people. What advice would you have for people that are looking to get a career in gaming, whether it be a host or content creator or whatever?
Yeah, so my big break came because somebody from the Game Awards, a PA, which is a safe positions assistant, a production assistant, they happened to watch my streams. My streams were getting somewhere between 30 and 70 viewers, and I had been streaming since 2014. At that point, I think it was 2017. So I had 3 years of, some people might say that's a ton of progress. Some people might say not a lot of progress. It depends, I guess, on how you're looking at it. But they submitted my name to be like the backstage host for the Game Awards. And it was just because I was going live. And that completely changed my life. I didn't even know I wanted to host until I did that. And then I did it and I loved it way more than my day job and was like, heck yeah. So my advice really is to do it and to put yourself out there and be open-minded to what progress really means, because I think that at the time I felt that I was a bad streamer, I wasn't doing well because I couldn't crack 100 viewers and all of this stuff. And I think that if I really dwelled on it, I would have probably stopped streaming. When had I not been putting that content out and putting myself out there, they wouldn't have seen it. And then I wouldn't have had the opportunities that I had. And I think that one, it's just keep saying yes. This is general life advice, but I think just keep saying yes. And two, think about, if you feel stuck, think about what scares you the most and then force yourself to do that and ask yourself that question every day. And that's an unfortunate exercise that I'm doing right now. It's really scary, but that's ultimately what I did to find myself in gaming, because I knew I wanted to work in gaming and I knew I wanted to be a host. Had no prior connections, didn't know what the heck I was doing or even how to become a host. And And I'm grateful for my past self for being brave and putting myself out there. Because sometimes it sucks when you put your heart and soul into things and people don't watch it.
Cool. And you didn't start at IGN or with hosting. You kind of had like a cool, interesting pathway there.
Yeah, so I was a Destiny streamer in college. As I said, I kind of floated. I think my best streams maybe hit 200 viewers, but that was not normal. But I kind of floated with lower viewership, but I'd stream 6 days a week, 4 hours a day on top of, going to school and stuff. And it was just something I did because I felt like it was fun. I don't know. It was just something that was fun. Ultimately, I thought I was going to be a surgeon, and then I worked at a hospital and I hated it. So then I was like, oh, I'll be a dentist. And then I worked at the dental school. I also didn't like that. And I was kind of lost. And the only thing I had in my hand was a biology degree and a streaming, I don't even want to call it a streaming audience, but just experience streaming on Twitch. And I didn't know what to do. There was a Destiny competition. It was a Time Strikes tournament at USC, which is where I went to school. I found the flyer on the ground next to my bike and I had nobody to go to with. Or, you know what? I had one friend that also streamed, but she didn't play Destiny. And I begged her to go with me because I didn't want to go alone. We ended up picking up a third at the tournament, won the tournament. Red Bull was putting the tournament on. And so.
Wait, I didn't know you won the tournament.
Yeah, we won the tournament. So they invited us to the championship, which was with a bunch of other schools at Red Bull headquarters. And I was so excited because I always wanted to work for Red Bull. I grew up really enjoying wakeboarding and the sport of wakeboarding. And I thought what Red Bull did with wakeboarding, not even gaming, what Red Bull was doing with wakeboarding was really sick. And then the fact that they were doing these tournaments for gaming, I thought was really cool because nobody else was really doing that on a grassroots level that I had access to at the time. It definitely was happening, but I didn't know about it. We went to Red Bull headquarters and I smooshed everybody up. Honestly, bad teammate. I didn't even care if we won. All I wanted to do was talk to people that worked at Red Bull and try to get them to let me take them to coffee. And a bunch of them did. I ended up being brought on as a consultant for the Red Bull Destiny partnership. And that was while I was still in school. That partnership ended and they had a position that opened for YouTube strategy and content syndication, which is basically where if you have one video, you decide how to repackage the video for other platforms so that it can be successful on those other platforms. So I did that for a while and then ended up going to BuzzFeed to leave their content strategy on YouTube for one of their channels. It's called BuzzFeed Blue. I don't think that's what it's called anymore. But that included gaming and building their gaming strategy for YouTube. And while I was there, I ended up being on camera a bit. I really liked that. I learned everything that I know about production from them.
You had some fun videos there.
I did, yeah.
Do you remember what your favorite video you ever filmed there was?
I mean, I don't know. Looking back on it, my favorite was I trained with WWE for a week.
Oh my gosh.
But
wait, do the thing.
Oh no.
Do the thing.
I can't remember what my name was. I had to come up with a personality.
Destiny?
No, it was my friend Bernie helps me come up with it. Something, but I say, I see the future and the future is me. And that's like my tagline. But yeah, it was my favorite to film because I cried to my parents every day because I was in so much pain. It was so hard and I didn't know what I was doing. And I had only worked at BuzzFeed for a week at that point. And they just needed somebody who was athletic and could run 3 miles. And I said yes. I actually did that with Michelle Carr.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, she was the other person who did, but she wasn't at BuzzFeed at the time. But that's how desperate they were. She had already left BuzzFeed and they were just looking for people who physically wouldn't die by doing this training. And so they're like, oh, this girl, she started a week ago, but I'm sure we could ask her to go to Florida and do this. And that's what I did. And it was really hard. But looking back on it, it's cool to say I did it. And honestly, I can't watch the video. I cringe. But it's cool to say that I did it.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, so that was BuzzFeed.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. And then I left. I was at BuzzFeed while TGA, the Game Awards, Jeff Keighley and his team reached out about hosting backstage. And I'm a little bit I don't like to get in trouble, but that definitely was something where I didn't ask for permission to, appear on a different production. And I'm so glad I didn't because I don't think they would have said yes. And I went and hosted for them on a Thursday, came back to work on Friday and was like, I'm doing the wrong thing. I need to host. And I started freelancing for IGN and then eventually got hired.
Cool. And then became the face of IGN.
One of the many faces.
Amazing. Cool. So that's you and your history.
It's me.
And that's really cool. And it's cool. It's a cool space to be in. So congratulations on everything you've built.
Thank you.
Yeah. Jumping back into the Pokemon riffs, you said something about thick Pikachu. I'm going to open this ETB for you because it's a little complicated.
Okay. I've never opened an ETB or even seen one. I mean, I've definitely watched you do it before.
Actually, this could be fun.
In your
for
videos.
content here, so feel free to.
I'm sure there's a right and a wrong way to do this.
There really isn't. You could like run this thing over with a car and the packs might be okay on the inside. But inside this box is one of the most iconic chases from the Sword and Shield era, Thick Rainbow Pikachu. I've pulled it only once. Could you explain your history with Thick Pikachu as you attempt to break out of this box?
Yeah, so I still have my Pokemon collections from when I was a kid. I grew up, you know, in early Pokemon days, Gen 1, I was there. So I have all that good stuff, which included Thick Pikachu.
Wait, look here. This is who we're looking for. Do you see this?
My Pikachu. That's mine. That's my Pikachu.
Okay.
Yeah, so Thick Pikachu before they changed the artwork. And I brought my collection home when Brandon and I started dating because I was so excited to show him. My dad dug it up.
Here, all we really care about inside here are these guys. These are the booster packs. And you've got, I want to say 8 or 9 of them. Okay. So your history with Thick Pikachu.
Oh, look at that big boy.
Chunky boy. We have a cat named Chester, and he kind of reminds me of Pikachu.
He has such strong Pikachu energy. Oh my goodness.
But like thick Pikachu, but not fat, but like
he's
muscular.
He walks like this. But yeah, so Brandon, basically the way that my binder was organized was I had a bunch of sheets.
This was bad.
And of what I, as a child, determined my favorite cards because, you know, I played the game. And so cards that were powerful or I just liked the artwork. And then I had kind of this big pencil case of just a bunch of loose singles. And Brandon and I went through the book or whatever, and he was pulling out everything that was objectively valuable, I guess.
She had good taste. They were good cards.
I got some Japanese cards. I was going in.
Not just Japanese Neo Destiny cards. Like, those are crazy.
Yeah, I had some good stuff. And so Brandon's pulling all the good stuff out and he's putting it in a pile on the coffee table. And then we close the book and he says, wow, you have so many good cards. This is amazing. And we look at the coffee table and there's a mystery liquid that he has been putting my best cards into.
So bad.
Like, it's not just water. Not that water would have made it better, but I think it was cleaning liquid.
It was something. It was something. It was a mix of water and something.
But it had a smell, and so all of my best cards are now super water damaged.
Well, you know, I feel like we haven't looked at them since, but I don't think we're sending these in for grading. But that's fine because you're never going to grade them.
I guess not. I don't know.
Like, or never sell them at least.
Okay, somebody needs to show me how to do it.
Oh, here, just want me to. Okay, so you pull, and then rip, maybe rip, and you go straight through. Now, the hit's going to be kind of in the middle of the pack, so you're going to get to a reverse hollow, and then the card after the reverse hollow is the hit. And then after that, you can put the card to the side. So, Mudbray.
This is the hit?
That's the hit, Vaporeon.
Vaporeon.
Do you have a favorite Eevee evolution?
I think Eevee's overrated.
Ooh.
I just don't get it. But that's fine. I don't have to get everything. I guess it's Vaporeon only because... But I like Espeon.
Okay.
I like Espeon now. The reason why I don't like Eevee is because... Again, I don't get it. It's not for me. And that's okay. I don't want to take other people's joy away, but I don't get it. Why are there so many? And I guess you can get like a stone and turn it into the things. And that's cool. And when I was playing the games as a kid, it was, oh, that's cool. Water stone. Let's make this happen.
Okay, here. Well, let's rip these packs
I want
and chase
a
this.
flying type Eevee.
There is no flying type Eevee.
I want a flying type. Give her wings. Cool. Well, I guess I'd be a dragon.
Very red.
But I want her to just I just want her to turn into a bird.
Like, you don't want her to be like a...
I don't want it to be a cat
dog
thing. I want her to just turn into a bird and everyone to be really confused. That's the Eevee I want.
Chaos. Okay, chaos. Okay. Nice. And there's a bit of a giveaway in these cards. If you look at the code card and it's white and green, it means you have a hit. If it's all green, it means you could throw the card away.
I think they shouldn't have done that.
I agree. And everyone else agrees, I feel.
So I don't have a hit.
No, you do have a hit. It's white and green. It's a good code card.
Oh, right, man.
So there might be something crazy in here. That card go. Oh my God.
This guy's funny.
That's an insane hit.
Wait, really?
Yeah,
that's funny. Why'd they make him stand like that?
Speaking of that, we have a picture that we pulled from your Instagram.
Okay.
Could you do your best Mag card, or what was it, a Magmar impression?
Well, it was because there was a specific. You have to show me a picture of Magmar or a picture that I was.
I'll show you the picture that you would.
Honestly, I really...
You kind of killed it there.
Nailed that
Kind of
one.
killed it there. Here, we get a close-up of this. Close. Nice.
Yeah.
It's so Magnemar. Okay, and then if you were to do the Shiny Glaring Obstagoon, how would you...
No, I just did it.
Oh, let's say it again.
Well, it's very similar. I feel like... You know?
Yeah, that's great. This is a crazy... This was like my top chase when I was opening the set. Because I think Shiny Obstagoon is one of the best colored shinies in the entire game.
I love that his name's Obstagoon.
It's insane. Okay.
Okay.
That honestly might be rarer than the Chonkachu.
I want Chonkachu.
We want Chonkachu. Well, we still got more packs to hit it. That was crazy.
Puccina.
Puccina. Blitzel.
A lot of Rafra.
Oh, yeah.
Skiddo.
Terrakion. Legendary.
Terrakion.
And that's it. Next pack. Let's see it.
Pack. Next pack.
You're kind of getting this down.
I just don't know how you guys do this so quickly.
There we go. A lot of repetition, you know. Sydney Goodman here.
Eevee.
Your favorite?
I feel bad. I don't hate Eevee, but I just don't get it. It's like when they're trying to kind of shove something down your throat, and it's like...
I will say, in terms of marketing, I feel like Eevee...
They really like Eevee.
They shove Eevee.
And I don't get...
And Eevee sells. Eevee in the evolutions.
But I get it because it makes sense from a marketing standpoint because Eevee has how many branches to connect to somebody where other Pokemon only have, you know, a typical evolution line.
That's a good point. Okay, so you grew up on Pokemon.
I did.
The Pokemon movies.
Pokemon raised.
Do you have a relation to the Pokemon movies?
What did they do to Meowth?
That's Galarian Meowth.
What happened to his face?
He is from the Galar region. He's from Hawaii. This is the Hawaiian Meowth. Right? Galar is Hawaii. What's Galar?
No.
UK. Oh, Alolan. Oh, it's UK Meow.
Oh.
I was going to make some jokes. It's all right. All right, Manectric. There's a hit. Okay.
It's cool again.
Age of
I like
Buffy.
the black. I like the colors on this.
Okay, so the Pokemon movies.
Which
Do you
one?
have a favorite Pokemon movie, or was there one that was very like hit home to you?
To be honest, a lot of the two of them blend together for me, and it might even be the same movie. But the one where what's his name, like
Entei?
Is it Entei? I don't know, but her dad is the big reveal.
Okay.
But I think that's a different one than the Mew movie or the Mewtwo movie.
Okay.
One of them's Pokemon 2000, and the other one is something else. But those two movies, whichever is the one that it's obviously the Mew movie that they gave out that ancient Mew card. I had like 15 of those because I saw that movie so many times in theaters, and they'd give that out when you went to go see a movie.
Do you have any of those left in your first?
Yeah, you put it in the water.
Oh no, oh man.
No, I actually think those though are in plastic, so that one probably made it.
Oh, and like the penny sleeves and stuff.
No, not a penny sleeve. That it was like
in the
sealed package or plastic. So yeah, definitely those. I'd always go with my brother and my cousin Nick, and my parents or my mom and my aunt.
Cool. Fortress. All right. Okay. Speaking of like your parents, your family, and gaming, your dad's a big gamer.
My dad is a huge nerd. Yeah, actually, the legend has it that when my parents didn't find out the gender of me, they just wanted to be surprised, I guess. And
Legend has it.
when my mom got pregnant, my dad told her, as soon as this kid can use their thumbs, I'm teaching them how to game. Like, my dad's a huge gamer. I kind of love it.
We play Fortnite with him.
Yeah.
Almost weekly.
It's the best.
And did he get you into Pokemon or just gaming as a whole?
I think that, so it's funny because my dad, he played Mario when it was in the arcades, but he wasn't a huge Nintendo guy. He definitely is where I get my first-person shooter, kind of more gritty, less colorful. Oh, that was the hit. Right?
Yeah, Ninjas.
Less colorful, like affinity towards less colorful games like Call of Duty, like space games, all that kind of stuff. Like, I'd watch him play Crazy Taxi and Tomb Raider, and we had Tekken and that kind of thing. But those were all my dad's games. But he got me Nintendo, I think, because his thought was, oh, this is for kids, or it's closer for, there's more kids games on here. So it wasn't that he was into Pokemon, but Pokemon was getting popular, and my dad definitely was on the pulse of that and was the one that kind of instigated that and continued that love. I mean, every year, no fail, I'd get the Pokemon RPG.
Cool.
For birthday, Christmas, or like when it came out.
And you played the Pokemon every year, like...
Yeah, up until the Sun and Moon was the first year that I didn't finish it. Sun and Moon, that's the Aloha region, right? Yeah, that was the first time that I didn't finish a Pokemon RPG my entire life.
Wow.
Yeah. And every year I go back and I play either Gen 2 or Gen 3.
Sweet. And would you say
Those are my
your favorite generation is?
I think that the experience of going back and playing Ruby and Sapphire translates more to this, because at that point they gave you running, and it's just like the game's a little more streamlined. So for that reason, I guess. But I really like Gold and Silver, mainly because you finish, what is that? You finish Kanto or you finish Johto? So you finish Johto, the Johto region. You think the game's over. And then all of a sudden they're like, hey, why don't you surf across that lake? And then you do, and you get to the fucking Kanto region. And my mind was blown, especially if you're a kid, you can't buy yourself, all of a sudden have another game to play.
Cool.
But maybe for that, Gen 2 is completely iconic for doing that.
Cool. We'll see if we can find some cool Gen 2 chases in here. This is your last pack, Hollow Dust Nor. And by the way, you opened that pack very professionally, so.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so yeah.
I'm not going to say it, but what are these? I'll say it. What are these sperm doing coming toward? What is that supposed to be? Spooky shot. That's what it is. Is that what it says?
I don't even know what to say about that. You know how like in like older cartoons, like they would make them for kids, but they would add little funny things in there for the adults to laugh at too? I think that's spooky shit.
Oh gosh.
Okay, well, out of the Elite Trainer box,
I
you got the
stuck.
H/V, and I mean, this is insane. This is a
Is it
crazy hit.
actually?
Yes, this is a crazy hit. I don't know like market value, but like this is probably my favorite card in the entire set by
The
Bard.
thing is, I am very aesthetics driven. And I like the aesthetics of these. This is nice.
Sweet.
They're nice.
Great hits.
Okay.
Sid?
Oh my gosh. No.
Sid, this has to be you. It has to be you.
There's a child in the Oh no.
Okay, so if you make this free Destined Rivals Elite Trainer box, you got this, Sid.
Oh.
No pressure.
Yeah.
0.
Okay, no pressure. How does this move through space? Can I get a practice shot? This does it?
Just watch out. A lot of people shoot too high.
Okay.
So.
I mean, that looked pretty good.
Didn't even touch
What's the practice shot?
that. Okay. Okay, so this is for real.
Oh,
that's so close.
So close. Okay.
You get both.
Oh my god.
Legend. Let's go.
Wow.
Huge shout out Rizzo Sports in Santa Monica once again. Okay, wait, we have some crazy stuff to open up for you.
sick.
Do you know the significance of either of these?
Nope.
People fought in the streets for this Elite Trainer box.
Giovanni
Yes.
and my guy knew too.
Yeah.
But this is my era.
That's right there.
That's me. Should we do which one?
Yeah, we'll do this is crazy. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, switching topics over to gaming, because obviously you're like big in the gaming space.
You're like,
Do you have a favorite video game or video game franchise?
that's such a hard question now. Oh man, because I'm at this really interesting turning point where I grew up with video games, right? I'm hyper competitive. I grew up playing first-person shooters, multiplayers, like that was my bread and butter. And I'm starting to skirt into story games more, which is really interesting, and exploring the side of video games that I don't want to say that the other side of video games aren't an art form, because it definitely is, but maybe the video games that are more focused on the storytelling and kind of don't care as much if they're mainstream because like it's very artful. So that's been really interesting. That said, Halo has always been my number one. I actually got to host the Halo the series after show on Paramount Plus. You should honestly watch the Halo series, but then watch the after show after, please. Yeah, so Halo was my game growing up. It was probably the first game that I really captivated me to such a degree. Well, that's not true, because I was pretty old, but I guess the thing is Halo 2 I recognize as being a better game, and I think it's so crazy you're too young for this.
I've never played it.
But you don't understand the significance of it. Halo 2 was the first game. I don't want to we don't have to go fully into the history, but Halo 2 was the first game that was this multiplayer game that was really taking advantage of online matchmaking, which is crazy, huge, insane. I loved that, but the reason why Halo 3 is my favorite is because I was old enough to be able to talk on a mic.
Yeah.
So I got to really take advantage of the fact and jump into custom lobbies and do all of that. And it's just a game that means a lot to me. Yeah, I guess for that reason, it's hard for me to shake Halo. I think it's Halo. And then Pokemon's a really cool second.
Cool. And then out of the entire gaming universe,
Wow, okay.
who has the best fit character-wise?
Shoot. I think Cloud from Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah. He has his little earring. Which ear is it? I think it's on his left ear. He has this little earring situation. I think, I don't know. I always had a really mad crush on Cloud, to be honest with you. I never played.
Pull up Cloud.
A giant cloud! Fun fact, Cloud was actually my very first video game crush. So everything goes, my hand placement there was a little conspicuous. Everything just comes full circle, doesn't it?
I never played Final Fantasy VII. Oh, it's right there because they did boost up boxes with Magic the Gathering with MTG. I don't know, something about that anime hair. And it was white. And my neighbor, at that point, my dad switched over to Xbox, so we didn't have a PlayStation in the house. My neighbor's brother would play Final Fantasy VII, and I'd come over and watch. And I guess he's my neighbor too. But I was friends. My neighbor was a little girl who was my age, and her older brother would play Final Fantasy VII, and I'd watch him play.
And speaking of Magic the Gathering, you have some experience with MTG.
Last year, 2 years ago at Summer Game Fest, I learned how to play Magic, which was really fun. I hosted Wizards of the Coast like keynote for the year a couple years ago, which was
That's super cool. I mean, they're insanely iconic because they like made the Pokemon cards in the US.
Yeah, it was really fun to work with them, but also I think anytime I get to host something with announcements, it's such an honor because there's a whole group of people who have been keeping this secret and have been pouring themselves into this thing, and I get the pleasure of telling their fans and like their community about it, and I do not take that lightly. I think that's something that that's something that people don't talk enough about, but I know so many hosts also feel the same way, which is just, it's a tremendous honor to be given the opportunity. I feel that way with the Game Awards every year because people can't share, you know, they're not supposed to talk about what they're working on and whatever, and then I get to be the one to tell them, oh, this is a new trailer, or this game is coming out. And so it means a lot to be entrusted with that.
That's cool. Now, we're going to entrust you
Okay.
with some of the most hyped sets in the entire market right now. For you, on behalf, again, huge shout out to Rizzo Sports in Santa Monica, great card shop. Pop by and tell them we sent you. We've got some cool things. Scarlett, also a question for you.
Yeah.
You know me off camera.
I have been known to hang out with you off when the cameras are off.
Am I talking differently while I'm interviewing you? Wait, can you do an impersonation of me on camera versus off camera?
Oh, that's really hard.
Okay, now we're gonna open these boxes. Sydney, take the box and open it. Don't you? Oh my gosh!
That's
Yo, you pulled the opposite of a person gonna open it.
it's like that.
Okay.
I feel like when we talk, it's just like
I don't know. It's like without
I do
that,
go,
like, it's without the like there's like a
like I'm
like you're gonna croak.
dying.
no, but I did the same thing because I feel like if you ask me, okay, if I was to say, hey Brandon, your shirt, you look nice today. We're here at Rizzo Sports. That's like me speaking, right?
Okay.
But if I was hosting, I'd be like, Brandon, what's up? We're here at Rizzo Sports. Amazing. You know, like it's different. So you do the same thing.
Amazing. Okay, well, so I'm going to ask you to do something because you just did that. Can you commentate in your hosting voice? Once we hear, let me rip this open just so that it's faster and we can like roll into the packs. But can you hit this with your commentary voice as you're ripping through the packs? Okay, so we're starting off with this. I think this is Scarlet and Violet base. I didn't look at what it was. Okay, this is Scarlet and Violet base set. So this is a cool set, cool vibe.
Scarvio. What's up, everybody? So we are opening the Scarlet and Violet base packs, right? That's what we called it. We're hoping for something good. I don't really know what the hit is, and I don't know how
What are you looking
to open this.
Scarlet and base. All right, here we go.
Don't underestimate me.
Back yeah.
All right, so we are going to open this pack. I don't know if there is a card.
Sure.
We got a little wiglet. Here, I'll roll through these quickly. What is this guy? Is he related to Tentacruel?
Kind of like a cousin.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Run out of ideas, I see. I love this guy. This is cool art. Who's the artist on this? Tomokazu Komiya-san. Beautiful. I love this art. See, like this would be an expensive card in my book.
Okay.
So that's sick. Okay.
You're not commentating.
Oh, and now we're still doing the cards. This whatever, looks real excited. And we have a great tusk. It looks like this is a hit. Brandon is so excited right now.
You got an EX?
I got an EX.
Sweet.
Sweet. All right, so we are going to open the next card, or next pack, booster pack. Oh my gosh. How do you guys do this? It's like the worst, it's the worst chip bag in the world. That's what, okay, well, we got that. All right.
Okay, so big hits, big chases. We're looking for the Miriam Secret Illustration Rare. I do remember that. There's the Gardevoir Secret Illustration Rare. That one's big.
Okay.
And then there's some very, very cool art rares, including Riolu, Wiglet,
I'll be the
and Sandal. You'll love Sandal if we pull it, especially because you like that card.
Did they just put a picture of a flamingo and remove one letter from it? Flamingos? All right. I see you, Pokemon. Rocky Helmet. Cyclizar.
Yeah.
Nice. Houndstone. Skeledridge. There we go.
Okay.
And that is pack 2. That's pack 2.
Well, this you're a good you have a good you should look into hosting. You have a really good like commentary host place.
Yeah, commentary is different than hosting though. One time I got a job to it's the only time I've ever been fired from a job.
You got fired?
Yeah. It was for Twitch Rivals for Warzone, I think.
Okay.
And it was a tragic miscommunication between my team and their team, or at least I don't know where the wires got crossed. The wires got crossed, and basically I had signed up for a color commentary role, not a hosting role, which is very different because when you're hosting, commentary is a very different skill set, basically. And it's not one that at that point in time I had. I still would say, and you prep for commentary different because you need to understand, you know, the nuance of where the game's at, what the patches are, all this stuff. Did not come on with any of that information. So I was just saying the most nonsense while we were commentating what was going on, doing color commentation. We were doing color on the broadcast, and I just didn't have anything intelligent to say because I didn't prepare for it because I didn't know that's what I would be doing. And they very politely asked me not to come back.
Okay. They're lost.
All right.
All right, this is your final pack of Scarlet Magic base. Hoping
Go,
for
hoping
full
for-
Armor.
Ooh, I like this.
Alamomola.
Alma Moas.
It's like the mall.
It is like the mall.
Yeah.
Oh,
Cool.
a little baby.
Squovit art rare. Nice.
A little baby.
Nice.
Yeah, they didn't have these full arts back in my day when I was opening packs. They didn't have those.
But definitely the art game has gotten very crazy for Pokemon. And this set is one of the most hyped sets Pokemon has ever released. This is very cool that they gave this to us. I can't wait for you to open
More
it.
hyped than 151.
More hyped than 151. Although I think 151 will hold value in the long term. Doesn't matter. My question is, before we open this though, you host the Game Awards every year. It is watched live by millions of people. Co-host it.
It's true.
What is it like hosting, co-hosting, being on camera, reading script in front of a live audience of thousands or hundreds or however many people are in the stadium in person there, and then millions watching from home?
Well, I don't think about it.
Okay, cool.
It freaks me out a lot if I thought about it. I don't know. It's an adrenaline rush. It's so fun. It's one of my favorite events I do every year because, well, for a lot of reasons, but let's set aside, you know, the prestige of the event, and it's so fun because I get to wear a gown and do the whole thing. It is the best team. The team's amazing, and they're so on par. And when you work with a team like that, I mean, I work with a lot of really great teams. This team in particular, though, I've done this for 7 years. I think this is going to be my 8th year, and I know the team, and you can trust the team, so I'm able to do my job better because I'm not really thinking about anything else except for hosting. What is it like though with so many people watching? It's funny because my mind, I don't get nervous anymore for it. Maybe I'll get nervous for the first line. And sometimes I'll get a little bit nervous because I'm the pre-show, which is 30 minutes before the regular show starts. And timing's a real big part of hosting. That's something maybe people don't realize. Why would you? But when you're the host, you're kind of the adult on stage. And my job, as much as it is to entertain, is really to keep time and make sure there's something called a run of show, which is essentially, think of it as a schedule. Tells you, intro, 30 seconds, question 1, or maybe you have a block of questions, the first 5 questions, and you have 15 minutes for that. And so you're kind of paying attention to that as you're listening to this person, and you want to make sure that your guests are comfortable, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the job of a host. And for the pre-show, if I go over, that means the regular show already is starting at a loss. And that's kind of a lot of pressure because with a show like that, you have people coming up to do interviews. There's a lot of kind of question mark things that production doesn't have as much control over because they have control over Jeff, they have control over me. But if somebody's coming up to talk about their game and they go over by a few minutes, that's a few minutes added to the total runtime, and it's already a long show. And then if you do that for every time somebody goes up on stage, you can end up with a super bloated show that's like 4 hours long, and nobody wants that. So it is very nerve-wracking because I need to make sure that I'm talking at the correct pace, that I'm not speaking too fast to where we don't have enough show to fill the 30 minutes, because then that kills the momentum going into the main show. But I can't talk so slow that. Like my goal is always to end right at 30 minutes, like 30 minutes on the dot. And so I'll have a producer in my ear basically saying, okay, 10, 9, 8, while I'm still speaking and reading the script. And I have to make sure that I'm kind of timing. I know the script well enough or understand how much text is left so that I can finish right on time. So that's nerve-wracking to an extent, but you try not to think about it. But my legs will usually shake. Don't lift too hard. Every year, my legs will shake a little bit. Or my palms, my hand might be a little shaky. But it's weird. It's just like a body response. I don't feel nervous.
Cool.
Yeah.
Time to crack. Okay, so as you were ripping this open, you got a special screening of Detective Pikachu.
Yeah, I did.
Why did you laugh?
Why are we talking about this?
I don't know. Like, well, give us your experience.
Of going to Detective Pikachu?
Sure.
Well, so I went with Jeffrey, with Bega.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we actually weren't even that good of friends, but we went, this was when I was at IGN, and I got the call. I got to go see it. I think it was the premiere because it had all the people at it. And I don't know, it was really cool. It was funny though because we sat down, spoilers for Detective Pikachu, and we sat down and I looked at Jeffrey and I was like, the Pikachu's his dad. But I was kind of kidding, but I also wasn't. I was like, the Pikachu's his dad. And then we watched it and then the Pikachu was his dad. And I was like,
Cool. This is Destined Rivals. So this set is very iconically known because it has brought Team Rocket back into the franchise after a pretty long time. What are your thoughts on Team Rocket?
to protect the world from devastation, to unite all something within our nation, something power of love, Jesse, James. I love Team Rocket. I think they're misunderstood.
You okay? Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're very well dressed. Honestly, some of the most, they are in the running for best dressed like video game characters. What am I looking at here?
That's a Reller, obviously. Yeah, there's some new Pokemon in here, so this will be funny for you to... Muck? Team Rocket's Muck. Okay, let's see it. This is the first pack of Destined Rivals. Oh, Gorbis.
Gorbis.
This is known as one of the most forgotten Pokemon in the entire world.
Why?
Gorbis, Huntail. I don't know, just nobody thinks about him.
Oh, that makes me sad for them. Yeah, I don't know. Team Rocket, obviously not down to abuse Pokemon, but I do think Jesse and James are sorely misunderstood.
Okay, you sort of recently started dating a very large Pokemon Go content creator and got back into the game. What was your relationship with Pokemon Go maybe in 2016, and what brought you back?
So Misty, my girl. So 2016, I was working at Red Bull.
I heard you didn't really like
And
it.
The game? Okay, it's because it was marketed poorly, honestly, Gyros. All right. It's because it was marketed poorly. I felt like it played, and when they first announced the game, which I think was at E3, it was this idea of, I love Pokemon so much. I grew up with this. Wouldn't it be sick if Pokemon were real? And I think people didn't really, including myself, understand what AR was at that point. And so the way that it was this abstract concept of, okay, we're going to walk around, there's going to be Pokemon. And I don't know what I was expecting it to be because I didn't think that they were going to, my phone was suddenly going to spawn holograms around. But my expectations were, oh, it was pulling on the string of, you love this thing and it could be real. What if it was real and you got to walk around and find it or whatever? And then when it came out, it was like, oh, okay. But what I did think was really cool was I remember at the Red Bull offices, like there was a Venusaur, and everyone stopped what they were doing and ran over to try and catch it, and it was by my desk. And like that, as with many people, that community feel, I think, is what makes the game so special, and especially in 2016. And then I got back into it. I was courted by Niantic.
Whizzed up, as they say.
Yeah, because I love Squirtle. I love Squirtle Squad. I love Squirtle Squad.
The glasses.
I've always thought the Squirtle Squad is hilarious. I love their attitude. I've always loved Squirrel Squad. So it was a Squirrel Squad community day. And Brandon bribed me by telling me that I could play with him and we'd go to Disneyland. And that's what we did. And I got back into the game. This guy's ching-ling-ling. He's cute. Yeah, that got me back in the game. So now I kind of only play events.
And we're playing this weekend.
I'll be playing this weekend.
Yeah.
Cute.
First hit is Electivire. Yeah.
Electivire EX. Yeah, so I found my Pokemon Go best friend for life, my little besties, which is big man Blastoise with sunglasses on, and we're best friends, and he does everything with me, and I will never take him off when you're best friends.
Yep, this is true. She feeds and takes pictures of him every day.
And now I collect Pokemon with hats.
specifically from my account.
Yeah. My favorite thing is to try and farm as many as I can from branch.
All the rare costume shinies. Yeah. All right. Destined Rivals. Let's see if we can get you a big hit out of this because you're obviously going home with all the cards that you pulled today. And that's pretty cool.
Hydrapple.
Yeah.
Okay, this is cool. This
Art rare
art rare. It's a cute art.
or illustration rare, they're called.
Illustration rare. It's cute. I like it. I like all the colors. I really like the colorful cards.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's some good ones in here. So some of the biggest hits that we're looking for in Destined Rivals are the secret illustration rares. So think back in the day, vintage Pokemon cards, the holographics were the big hits. In the modern day, every pack has holographics, but what you're looking for are the SIRs.
Okay.
So we're looking for Giovanni, we're looking for Moltres. Do you have a favorite legendary?
Articuno.
That's my girl.
I didn't know those. So Articuno, obviously I said very quickly because like OG Pokemon, but when I think of overall legendaries, I really like Ho-Oh.
Ho-Oh's sick.
Yeah.
I think isn't there a
I think
Ho-Oh?
I think there is.
Yeah.
I think it's the Pokemon Center in Kyoto that has a giant Ho-Oh.
Yes.
Yes,
Right? Yeah.
it does. And then they also have a Totodile, which Totodile I think is sorely, like nobody talks about Totodile. I hate it. It's so annoying. But Totodile is one of the starters for the new Pokemon game, Pokemon Legends, Z to A or A to Z, whatever it's called, Z to A. And he's one of the starters. So I'm hoping that means we'll get a revival of Totodile stuff.
Bring him back. Every time that I go to Japan and I go to a Pokemon Center for a YouTube video, I always look for a Totodile plushie to bring home to her. And in 2 years and like 20 visits to Pokemon Centers, I've never found a Totodile plushie.
Oh, well, there's only one Totodile plushie that they make, and I have 2 of them already. Actually, you got me one.
Perfect.
And another one my mod from my Twitch chat got me. Oh, there's Moltres.
That's pretty good. That's sick. Okay, so this is a full art. So it's not the secret illustration rare, but this is a partnered full art. Team Rocket's Moltres. That's super sick.
Sick.
Okay.
I feel as if I should be more excited.
Don't worry, I'll hold down the excitement of the group. If you had to imitate me as you pulled a rare card, how would you do that?
Here, I'll do it. I'll do the next one.
Okay, here, well, you're going to pull something crazy in this one, so it'll be easy to do that, obviously. What's it like dating a YouTuber?
It's really funny. I don't know, but I think my idea is skewed because while hosting is how I make most of my bread and butter, like I have a great understanding of content creation because even before I was in front of the camera, like that was my job, was understanding it. So I think that I have more, I don't know if compassion's the right word, but things are less surprising to me because I get it. Why work a 9 to 5 if you could work 24 hours because you've made your life your job?
Yeah.
Because it is a great privilege to get to do what you love for work. And also it is something where I think both of us are kind of always half working unless we've intentionally put
Like schedule the time.
scheduled time where it's like, we're absolutely not working for this period of time.
Exactly.
Because anything could be content if you try hard enough.
That's true. Okay, you have to imitate me on this one.
Oh, okay.
So reverse hollow,
And then it's going to be the hit.
and then it's going to be another reverse hollow, and then the hit.
Oh my god!
That's you. I feel like TCG, like people who rip, it feels like the equivalent of, you know how food influencers, they'll try food and before, there's no way their taste buds have registered the flavor, but they're like,
Oh my god. Yeah.
but it's like they just put it in. I feel as if TCG people, you didn't even see what the card is. It hasn't registered yet. And we're already doing our victory lap.
That was good. I was like, you did like a 360 and everything there?
Maybe that would be my signature move. I was like what is it called? A ripper? Is that what they
Rip
call
and
it?
shipper.
A rip and shipper?
Yeah, or a ripper. Yeah. Back ripper. Professional degen.
I don't know. What's it like dating a content creator?
It's the best. I get such good pictures of myself.
Honestly, yeah. I feel as if you've gotten to benefit from my high level of taste.
That's for sure true. Yeah. Instagram's improved. Oh, do you know what that is?
It's an ogre pond.
Heck yeah. All right. Another EX. Okay. So we have one more pack. This is the last pack that we have for you to open out of the Destined Rivals Elite Trainer box. Do you believe in
magic?
Yeah. Do you believe in magic?
I do believe in magic, actually. I was really into magic as a kid. My parents would take us to magic shows. Like we got to see David Blaine a few times.
Cool.
And I loved magic. I'd always ask for like magic kits as a kid.
Cool.
Or magic.
Okay. So as you open this last pack, What's next for Sydnee Goodman? Where can we expect you? What are you working on? And do you have advice for people in this world of content creation and gaming and all that?
You know what's going on in my life. It's a really existential question. I don't know how to answer this question.
Well, it seems like you've gleaned some insight.
Yeah, well, I'm starting back up my Sid So Good YouTube channel to be gaming content because I really miss talking about games like on my own, and not just when I'm hosting something for somebody else.
Hydrapple.
Oh, less cool Hydrapple.
Less cool Hydrapple.
So definitely there. You can find me youtube.com/SidSoGood. Same with my TikTok. My Sid So Good TikTok is also getting revived with gaming content. I just miss talking about games because while working for yourself and being a freelance host is super fun, I love it. It is you're kind of jumping into other people's projects, and I really miss having kind of my own projects and be able to share them and have a central place to watch them. So I'm excited about that. And then I'm continuing on with my lifestyle content, and you can see me, I don't know, at the Game Awards this year.
We'll leave some links in the description. Check out your hits of the day. This is what you were leading with.
All right.
Not bad. Do you have like a favorite card that you pulled today?
I don't know. I blacked out a little bit. That's something about me is when I do things on camera, I black out a little bit. So I have to remind myself.
The Lapras was cool. Cute Squovit. An olive tree.
I got some good stuff. I think, I have more. Oh, I really like this art. Shoot. I don't know if I can choose a favorite. I think it might be these three.
Sweet. Okay, well, you're going home with all that. Thanks for hanging out with us today.
Bite has Bite. Bite is my favorite move.
Wait, really? Fun.
Yeah, Bite is my favorite move because when it was introduced in Gen 2, there was no good counter to dark moves. So you could roll through the Elite Four with Bite. That's why I like Total Alpha so much.
There's the strats. Thanks again to RZA Sports for having us, giving us some packs, and thank you, Sydnee, for joining. All our links will be in the description. If you could give the people one word, what would the one word be?
One word? Like an adjective or a noun or an adverb? Like what kind of word?
What's your favorite word? I don't know.
Perhaps